go to heaven. Today we have with us Mr. Houston Van Alsten, upcoming and rising accordion artist. Mr. Alsten, how are you today?
I'm doing really good.
It's good to hear. It's good to hear.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Alsten, tell us a little about yourself.
Well, I started playing the accordion when I was about 1.5 years old. My dad gave me a small baby accordion, and I picked it right up, and he set me on my way and gave me some sheet music. And by the age of 3, I was playing at least 15 shows a week, all over.
Age of 3.
Yes, and it was all over the U.S., some places in Europe. I come from a small town in Michigan.
Okay. Okay.
But my parents, they are.
So you're a Packers fan?
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay.
And my parents, they are from Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
And they brought me here after I was born in Michigan.
Okay. Okay. I like that. Good deal. So do you have any upcoming new releases coming time soon?
Well, since I started playing, I've had 14 albums. This is my 15th, and the new title of it is Accordion All Over the World.
Okay, I like that.
And
very fitting.
It basically incorporates accordions from Europe, from Spanish areas, the accordions in Mexico, the accordions in Texas.
Okay.
We actually did a live recording in the Alamo.
So, Mr. Alsten, I've heard rumors via Twitter and Vogue magazine that you were recording an accordion performance during an actual bullfight. Please clarify for the world.
Yes, this bullfight happened when we were in the Alamo, and we had set up a full recording studio in the basement of the Alamo.
The Alamo actually has a real basement.
It was a full. We basically transformed the Alamo basement into a recording studio.
Okay.
We had like 58 crewmen there working day and night, setting up the studio, and there was, I think, 12 bullfights broke out. It was actually above us, next to the Alamo, like close to maybe like 3 or 4 feet from the Alamo.
Okay.
And
to the sidewalk, basically.
Yes. So
Okay.
my crewmen went up to check it out, to see what the rumble and ruckus was, because it was coming into the recordings, and like 7 of my crewmen died. My assistant producer, my assistant broker, my assistant's assistant, and
Tragic.
I can't remember all of their names, but I loved them so much that we stayed in the studio all day, and we wrote 14 new songs for a complete new album, other than the new one that I'm putting out.
So a new album.
Yes, and it is going to be called Run, Run, Bull.
So, Mr. Alsten, we've heard about your upcoming new album, Run, Run, Bull, about the death of your assistant's assistant and your assistant's assistant, and so on. But you started playing accordion at the age of 3, and you're 48 now. So that's a pretty large gap. Can you tell us more about like what came to be and how you became the star you are today?
Well, I started playing when I was 3, and I didn't really take it as serious until I was probably about 14. My grandmother passed away, and she gave me 2 goats and 1 cat or kitten. Is that you said kitten? And she left this for me, and I took care of these goats, and my family drank milk from these goats, and we made cheeses, and we took these in and just made them part of our family, because my grandmother, she loved she loved these goats and this kitten
Okay.
like
Okay.
they were her babies.
Okay, so maybe I'm not understanding Lily, but how does the adoption and milking of two goats make an artist?
See, when you take these two goats and this baby kitten, they mean so much to me that when I sat down at night, I look out my window and these two goats, they just sat there and they protected me. And then I would think about my grandmother up in heaven and how she would see me through their eyes, because they could see me and I could see them, and it was like I could see my grandmother and she could see me.
And that was your inspiration to write music?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And 2 years later, my parents, they were on their way to visit our homelands in Saudi Arabia, and this actually happened at the same time as I'm sorry. It was September 11.
Okay.
Not many people know about this because of all the, Twin Towers stuff, but there was another terrorism going on their plane that it took them down, and they crashed into like almost the very center of Saudi Arabia, and their plane was destroyed. And from that moment on, my heart collapsed, not just for my family, but for 9/11 families. And I've written 12 new complete albums from
12
this.
albums.
Complete albums.
How many tracks apiece are these albums?
Well, normally it just depends on the varieties, but basically they're around to 10 to 12,
So
and
that's
sometimes 15.
So that could be 120 to 170 different tracks.
Right. I normally sit down at my accordion and things, they just come to me, and I just write. And I have a bass player. He comes and he sits with me, and we just write and write.
Well, that's good.
And normally these things can go on for days.
So, Mr. Austin, we've talked about your birth of an artist at the age of 3, your upcoming albums, your adoption of goats from your grandmother, and how your career was technically born by the adoption of animals. I'm going to challenge you here. If you had to take your 48 years of career and put them into 3 words and 3 words only to describe you and your career, what 3 words would you use? And also, why would you use them?
Well, this is very difficult, but to make it easier for me, I will choose like first 3 letters of alphabet.
Okay, let's make it a little easier on me.
So I think the first would be acupuncture.
Okay.
And the reason I say acupuncture is when I was 7, my dad and mother, they would take me to this acupuncture place, and we would all lay down on 3 tables,
okay,
and we would get acupuncture, and it would make us free from worries, free from sin, free from all things that was holding us back from what we were doing.
So do you still get acupuncture today?
Absolutely. I do it at least, I try to schedule it once per day.
Okay.
But in the past 2 weeks, I've been so busy that it's like every other day.
Okay, understandable.
So that would be my A letter, A word. And B, I would have to choose bestiality, because when I was 9, my older brother, Miguel, he worked for the drug cartel.
Okay. Was this Mexican?
Yes.
Okay.
And he worked for the drug cartel, and there was so much bestiality going on in the drug cartel that he tried to bring it into our home, and my father shot him in the face with a shotgun, and it was not pretty that day. My sister cried, my mother cried, I cried. It was not a good day. So from that moment, my life took a 360 and pushed me in a direction that I can't even explain into words.
Okay. Going off topics, cutting your answer a little short. You're speaking of the drug cartel. Personally, have you ever had a drug problem?
Well, when after my brother was killed by my father,
Okay.
my life took a 360 turn, as I say, and I fell into all types of drugs. My first hard drug was steroids,
Okay.
and I was shooting up like every day, and I was bench pressing like 800 pounds, and I was, just maxing it out, roiding it up, and it was not pretty. I moved from steroids to heroin, and from heroin to cocaine, and I was snorting like 48 lines per day. I was dropping like $30,000 every 2 days on just cocaine. Then from cocaine, I went to marijuana.
Okay.
And from marijuana, I went to cocoa beans.
Cocoa beans.
Yes, not many Americans know about cocoa beans.
Well, I'm an American, and I know nothing about cocoa beans. Can you
Well,
help me out here?
Cocoa beans, they come from Australia,
Okay.
and they are imported into U.S.
Okay.
So when you get the cocoa beans, you actually plant them. You plant the cocoa beans, and then you actually let them sprout just for like 4 days.
Okay.
So you have to really monitor the progress of the cocoa bean. So once the cocoa bean sprouts out, normally it's about maybe like 3 inches of roots.
Okay.
So the 3 inches, you cut them off, and then you take the roots and you put them into tea, like that you have sweet tea.
Oh. Okay.
You put them into like any type of tea,
Okay.
and you boil them, and then it's like the craziest trip you will ever have in your life.
Okay.
And it is actually the most addictive drug in the world, but it's not very known about.
Okay. Well, that being said, if you don't want to answer this question, I completely understand. But are you on a cocoa bean trip right now?
No, I actually.
Are you sure?
Yes, I got clean when I was 19.
Okay.
And I've been clean for however many years from 19 to now.
That's quite a few.
So from that time, I just left it all behind, and I've not looked back. But I have to say that mainly now I'm a sex addict.
Oh, goodness. Well, Mr. Austin, that's all amazing information, but we have to cut to a commercial break right quick. So, we'll be right back after these paid presentations by our sponsors. Welcome back to All Dogs Go to Heaven. We are currently with Mr. Austin, a world-famous accordion artist. We're having a little Q&A right now. And we have a guest star on the stage with us today. And everybody welcome Mr.
This is Mr. Jeffrey Sudeikis.
Mr. Jeffrey Sudeikis. And is Mr. Jeffrey Sudeikis your dog?
Yes, he actually he's not my dog. We are currently in the process of getting him adopted.
Okay.
And we just picked him up at the homeless shelter today. But we gave him his first name, Jeffrey Sudeikis. We like to name our dogs with first names and last names.
Okay.
So that they are very easy identifiable.
Okay.
And we find this is very helpful in the dog adoption process.
Oh, that's good. So, Mr. Sudeikis is looking for a home?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, world, if you're interested in adopting Mr. Sudeikis, contact us. Shoot us a Twitter message, MySpaces, and we'll set you up.
You can also find him pictures on my website as well.
Okay, good deal.
It's Houston Van Austin, accordion player of the world alltimestars.com.
Okay, and we'll put a little link at that at the end of the video, maybe, if we can spell it. Okay, let's ask you 2 more questions. I have to notice you had a tattoo on your wrist, on your left wrist. Obviously you have a few tattoos, maybe some we can't see, but tell us some more about your artwork.
Well, yes, the tattoo on my wrist came when I was just 4 years old. I was going through a rough time in my life after playing show after show after show, and the tattoo just represents love, compassion, and love for my parents who guided me in my way.
Well, now Mr. Austin, we've learned a little about your life. We've learned a little about your drug habits. We've learned a little bit about your upcoming and your animal adoption and the birth of a star musician. Tell the world about your upcoming tour. So if somebody actually wants to witness the greatness in person, where are you touring? When? Give us some details.
Starting next month, I will be in Lower Asia.
Okay.
And then from Lower Asia, I will come back to LA.
Okay.
And then from LA, I go to New York.
Okay.
And then from New York, I come to Alabama.
Okay. So basically, you're hitting the big cities.
Yes, and this small tour is very sporadic, but then I will go on a worldwide tour, which will cover all of the world.
Okay.
And I think right now we have 378 dates, which will actually cover over a year, like more than a year to do. But we're going to cover the entire world.
That's awesome. And I also heard rumors, this might not be true, that you're possibly opening for the Harlem Globetrotters a few times. Is this a fact?
This is very much true.
That's awesome.
We have 4 or maybe 5 dates with the Harlem Globetrotters.
Okay, that's cool.
And it would be various days, various locations.
That's good. That's good. That'd be big. That's really good. Well, awesome. Well, it's been a great time today, Mr. Austin and Mr. I apologize, I forgot the dog's name.
Jeffrey Sudeikis.
Mr. Sudeikis, I apologize for the misconvenience of hearing your name. Mr. Austin, it's been awesome. Thank you so much from me personally and the world that's viewing. This has been another episode of All Dogs Go to Heaven. Thank you for tuning in today. Tune in next week as we will have the entire cast of Glee and Michael Jordan. Thank you.